Ahoy hoy YouTube, my name is Brand, I am the host of TYT Gaming and TBS if you're watching my personal channel, and this is the 5th edition of Throwback Thursday where I take us on a collective nostalgia trip of my personal game collection and give us a small retrospective look at a game. If you have any suggestions for a future Throwback Thursday, my Twitter and the channel are in the description below, you can reach me there. In the 5th edition of Throwback Thursday, we are examining Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game was released in 2005 and actually on the same day that Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith was released on DVD for Europe and North America. This game was a cult hit. If you play this game, you are likely absorbed by the fact you could actually relive the battles from the movies, fighting in space conquest modes with armies, and even the Jedi lets you retell the films on your own terms. It's the rare sequel that's better than the original in those respects. Hell, there's even an RTS mode in the game that I didn't even know existed until today. Because this game came out in 2005, it actually might be the most dated, graphically speaking, of all the Throwback Thursdays I've ever done. This includes Spider-Man 1 on the PlayStation and 64, by the way. This is a consistent problem I find with many video games, that when you go for that realistic look, you kind of date yourself tremendously. With games like Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, Shadow of the Colossus to an extent, and Spider-Man, and even Dragon Ball Z, cel-shaded looks apparently never die. I don't know why. For such a rich series, the Star Wars saga has produced countless books, comics, even years later, kids are picking up the franchise. However, the story in Battlefront 2 wasn't exactly the best. The story essentially follows a soldier who's experiencing many of the battles from the third movie and eventually the fourth and fifth movies. Perhaps the best part of the story was the famous Order 66, where if you're a Star Wars fan, you know it involves the death of many Jedi at the hands of the Empire. It was briefly touched upon in the movies in the form of a montage, but it was nice to actually play it for a change. A few critics talked about the game upon the release, and they said this game felt hollow to an extent, and they're right to an extent. You can walk around for minutes and not have a single engagement. It's not that deep. You're playing it for the Star Wars lore. You're not really playing it because it's a balanced shooter. You're playing it because it's that wacky, summer popcorn fun. But overall, I have to keep saying, I loved this game for what it was. When it comes to my Throwback Thursdays, I seem to have a running theme of actualization or realization. This game got many war aspects of Star Wars right. It wasn't the most polished game out there, it didn't have the Far Cry graphics, nor was it even that balanced, but it was fun. I spent countless hours on this title, from online to offline, and that's saying quite a bit because it does get repetitive after a while. But to finally control Jedi, stormtroopers, do dogfights in space, it brought me back to the days where I used to use Star Wars action figures and envision the battles in my head as a child. Every week, I try to give you guys a recommendation, but I can only link you an internal video from the developers of the game. I'll warn you ahead of time, the team at Free Radical were very frustrated with LucasArts, so there's a lot of strong language, but I think they're justified. I'll play a little preview at the end of the video, and the link of course will be in the description. But the ideals for Battlefront 3 were so amazing. The jump from the first to the second game were dramatic, and they finally hit their groove creatively with the third game, including evil Obi-Wan Kenobi. Imagine a Battlefront 3 with a Battlefield engine. That would have been amazing. And of course you're seeing footage right now of Battlefront 3. This is beta footage. The game was nearly done. And of course the link to this guy's channel will be below. He has all the footage of Battlefront 3. LucasArts never had faith in Battlefront 3, so they cancelled the game before they had to do the marketing, even though the game was nearly done. It was such a bizarre cancellation on their part, and of course we got The Force Unleashed 1, 2, and I guess 3. It's such a shame, because from the footage you see, the game was almost done. It would have been amazing to see what they could have done if they just had a little bit more time and a faithful publisher. I know I would have bought it from day one. Put in your comments below, what is your favorite Star Wars video game? And what did you think of Battlefront upon release? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It would help more people see the series. As always, everyone, you're watching TYT Gaming or TBS hosted by Brandon.
For fuck's sake, you LucasArts people seriously piss me off. Why the fuck would you pull a game with groundbreaking technology and great design?
Because this is Star Wars, because we need to make products with the Star Wars name, but with little content. It's about making a fucking bucket full of money, don't you understand?
Yes, but we can also make a great product too. You can even fly into space. Why would LucasArts want to ditch such a great idea?
Because we want to develop for an older platform with another company and hope some dipshits rush out and buy it, like they did when The Phantom Menace came out on DVD.